December 1st, 2015. The release date of one of today's most wonderful games, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. What also released with the game were operators with very specific abilities that gave life to the game, and a new way of looking at everything. Operators are truly a masterpiece, where some people are needed and some not so much. For the ones needed, Ubisoft clearly mastered the formula to what an operator should be. But today, we're going to be jumping into one specific operator. Arguably one of the best operators in the game, Ubisoft nearly mastered the formula. An SAS icon, a soft breach icon, and above all, a Rainbow Six Siege icon. Ladies and gentlemen, Sledge. Hey! What's up? Well, now that you know that Sledge is up first, you probably have guessed that attackers are first in the Retrospective Series. Yep. We're going to dive back in time from nerfs and buffs to the current day. We'll talk about flaws and pros of Sledge. And to be honest, I have a lot to say to you about Sledge. So if you enjoy, as always, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to ring that bell, as I'm going for one retrospective a week. We're going to be starting going down the list from attackers, so next week will most likely be Thatcher. I might switch it up later on, but I'm not sure yet. So if you like this type of video, let me know and don't miss the next one. But enough of that, let's dive into Sledge. Pause. Wait, one more thing, just to specify how I'm categorizing my criticism. There is 5 categories, actually 6 categories if you include this one. So there is, all these are out of 10 by the way. Weaponry, gadgets, special ability, and how the special ability is used effectively by players is another category. Comparing counterparts, so who counters the operator, and then obviously as our 6 stats. So we'll go anywhere from rank stats to pro stats to win rate and all that stuff. All these categories are rated out of 10, like I said. And yeah, with that being said, let's hop into the video. Sledge is a 2-speed, 2-armor operator with a sledgehammer that breaches soft surfaces. He is currently described as a soft breacher, obviously. He currently has gadgets, grenades, flashes, and the newly added impact EMP grenades. Sledge has 2 primaries, one being the SAS Shoddy, the M590A, along with his very powerful AR, the L85A2. His secondary is SAS's very own P226 Mark 25. Let's look at some of Sledge's nerfs and buffs throughout the history of Siege, now that we're done with some background info. 1.3 Skull Rain, obviously a minor one. Sledge, well, at the time it was major. Sledge swaps breach charges for stun grenades. I cannot tell you how useless breach charges are on Sledge. Sledge literally has 25 smacks with his sledgehammer, and why the hell would you need breach charges for that shit? You literally have a sledgehammer to breach soft surfaces. It makes no sense why you would need a breach charge if it only breaches soft surfaces as well. Stun grenades were a great addition for the time being. So yeah, let's move to the next one. Red Crow. Apparently Sledge used to kill through walls, and so if someone was standing on one side of the wall and Sledge was right here and Sledge smacked through the wall, that person would die through the wall. I never died to this, I don't think. To be honest, I never really even heard of this until I was doing my research, and apparently this was in the game. I don't really remember it ever happening to me. It might have. I don't remember. Like I said, I've been playing this game for a while, and that was so long ago that I probably couldn't even connect the dots there. But let's go into more of some major differences now. We have the 6.3 Crystal Guard first update. They removed Sledge's SMG-11. This was insane. We're going to dive into that a little later, so we'll go by for now. Next is 7.3 Brutal Swarm, the one that just got added. We had the ACOG removed, which was get into that later as well, and then the Impact EMPs were also added, which the Impact EMPs are amazing, and I'm liking them a lot. But yeah, let's get into some pros and cons. Sledge can be useful on every map in this game. Of course, there are millions of ways that Sledge can be utilized, from breaking walls to breaking barricades, but specifically, Sledge is well known for the ceiling attack on maps. For example, Cafe's kitchen, the whole ceiling in the kitchen is breakable. Sledge and Fuse, they go nuts. Border construction site, both the sites have breakable ceilings above, where Fuse and Sledge and Buck, they go crazy. And then Coastline Kitchen, where the whole ceiling is also breakable again, which is where those three ops go crazy. Of course, all you supporters to the counterpart Buck are jumping out of your chairs right now. Well, let me tell you what separates these two and why Sledge is the best at what he does. But first, let's take a look at some reasons Buck may be better. At the end of the day, there's no denying that Buck is obviously safer. If you take a look at these clips here, you can see why. Because you don't have to actually be in a certain spot to open a floor with Buck. You can shoot the spot from a safe distance. If you're with Sledge, you have to bend down and hit that shit with a sledgehammer, and then if you want to turn around and get the thing right behind it, boom, you're dead to a nitro cell. I mean, it just works like that. Buck, you can stand farther away, and you can hold even dirtier angles as soon as you break the floor. And Buck, you actually have less chance of being nitro celled through the floor, I'd say. So I could argue that as a former Buck supporter, especially when Buck had what we're going to talk about in a minute here, I could say that as a Rainbow Six Siege player myself, that I feel better when Buck's AR is in my hand instead of Sledge's. Now, I know everyone could argue that, recoil and whatever. Buck's gun is higher recoil, so it's worse. But as a player myself, personally, when I have Buck's gun in my hands, I feel way more confident than as to when I have Sledge's gun in my hand. But that's just me, because I love Buck. I've used him for a lot longer than I've used Sledge. Even though I love Sledge, they're both kind of like almost neck and neck. But Buck, I definitely have a few more hours with. Actually, we can put that up on screen now that we can see. Yeah, so I'm going to give Buck the AR category. I'm going to give Buck the safety. But that's just me personally for AR, because I know everyone, probably most people, agree that Sledge's gun's better. But I like Buck's gun better, and Buck's safer. Alright, and then next we have what really will separate the two now. Here's where we get into the pro of Sledge. The pro. Notice how I said the pro, because this is what really separates them. And I'm going to say it in one word. Grenades. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. Being able to break above someone and perfectly cook a nade to get the kill, or even throw one to flush them out of a certain corner for a free spray kill. I mean, come on. Having the nade from above is OP, and at the end of the day, that is what really separates these two. If Buck still had nades, he would be arguably, in my opinion, the best, if not one of the best attackers in the game. The fact that Sledge has nades makes him the true better operator. Other than the flush out ceiling tactic, Sledge is a good counter for Castle. And if you want to break that down into a Sledge versus Buck battle as well, Buck's got nothing on Castle. Sledge, he is the one that counters Castle out of those two. Buck cannot break a Castle. Sledge can break that shit down. Sledge can counter the Castle mute combo, which is huge, because along with Ash and Zofia and them, when gone 6 people and nades, Sledge joins that list, and it's an elite list. All around, Sledge is a great operator, and I think for the grenades, it is the best at what he does. But for one more major flaw that I can't be nice to, which did come up earlier, the single biggest flaw in Sledge's game is no SMG-11. Ladies and gentlemen, when they took away the SMG-11, I feel like Sledge dropped a whole tier, honestly. I feel like you could go from one amazing gun. Like, this will literally bring the weaponry category down a whole point. Like, Sledge, you could be so much more versatile with Sledge with the SMG-11. I feel like ever since the SMG-11 has been taken away from Sledge, it was such a good sidekick to that SAS shoddy. And now I feel like with Sledge, you don't see the shoddy being used as much because the SMG-11's gone. It was nice having that shoddy for close range, and boom, you switch to SMG-11. And then you just blast them up from long range. It was just so nice to be that versatile and that deadly from different ranges. But now that the SMG-11 is gone, Sledge, I mean, I feel like his weaponry definitely dropped a whole bunch after that. Another thing that may or may not have dropped his weaponry, I don't really know. You know, his weaponry rating may have went down. I don't know. I don't think personally for me as a player it was that big of a nerf. But Sledge is losing his ACOG this season. Yes, Sledge did lose his ACOG, but he also got 1.5. So, and I love 1.5. So, I'm not really gonna diss. I honestly, where the game is now, I would rather use 1.5 than ACOG for most weapons. There's some weapons I'd like to have ACOG back on, but we'll talk about that when we get to those guns in other videos. Obviously a big buff, which I honestly was surprised that Siege gave this to Sledge, was the Impact EMP grenade. Really confused why they gave that to Sledge. I feel like if they would have given that to Buck, it would have been a better balance between the two, but at the end of the day, I feel like if Buck would have had the Impact EMPs, it might have worked out. I think Buck's playtime might have went up a little bit, and along with his win rate, which we're going to see in a second. But I feel like one of the best things that happened to Sledge was Buck losing his nades. It really saved Sledge's playtime for most people. And some people would still rather use Buck, which is insane to me. Even me, like last season, because I just got back into the game, like really back into the game, like the last few seasons here. And the last few seasons, I was using Buck every single round. Like, I'm a hardcore Buck in Twitch main. Like, I still love Buck. I still love his AR. But last season, I realized, like, mid-season, like, grenades make Sledge so much better of an operator. It makes it so much easier to clear sight out and flush everyone out from above, and even run into your teammates and get them some kills. Sledge is clearly the better option nowadays, and I hate to say it, but people got to stop living in the past with my boy Buck and move on to Sledge. It's that time of the day. Time to hop into some statistics. More like pro statistics, R6 Pro League statistics. Let's take a look at the pick rate on attacking. And as you can see, the pick rate, Buck is very low on this list, as well as his win rate. Buck has a low win rate in the Pro League scene. That is insane to me, but honestly, the win rate is insane to me, but the pick rate's not, because Sledge, on the other hand, has such a high pick rate and a pretty solid win rate. He didn't make the top list, but he has a pretty solid win rate. And I feel like, looking in as a bystander, the main reason is most likely grenades. By the ranked community, Sledge is picked much more than 40% of the time. Statistically, this proves that Sledge is one of the best at what he does. And I'd say at the end of the day, in the counterpart battle, I would give this one to Sledge. But in a close battle to Buck, there's a lot of points that may prove that Buck is better, especially for me personally as a Siege player. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give Sledge the battle win over Buck. At the end of the day, I feel like Sledge closely gets this one. With all this, I've presented you in this week's edition of R6 Operator Retrospective. From the big nerfs to the tiny little details of statistics to the wild differences between Sledge and Buck and other operators in the game, to Sledge's counters. Sledge is elite, and there's no question about that. With that being said, my final ranking for Sledge is a 9.3 out of 10. S tier. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yo, what's up? It's your boy. This is Present Day Brady. Fun fact, this video was made about 3 months ago, and it never got uploaded. That is completely my fault, and I take full responsibility. And I'm sorry about leaving without even doing anything. But we actually have a video coming, like an actual rainbow video, not a return video. So that should get your hopes up here for the future. I took another absence from rainbow again. As soon as I said I was into it, I was gone again, just like that. So yeah, that's pretty much all that happened there. And hopefully when I make content on it, I won't outplay myself in the game. And yeah, the season's looking good. Obviously some of this info is outdated about Sledge. Like, he's not a 2-speed anymore. He's a 1-speed now, which wouldn't hurt his rating at all. But yeah, I just wanted to hop in and say what's up to everybody, and wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the new video in a few days or next week. See you guys.
Seth got the waves.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.